Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt stuck, trapped in a cycle of familiar routines, yet yearning for something more? You're not alone. We all have a place in our minds where everything feels safe and predictable. It's called the comfort zone. But here's the truth, it's also where dreams go to die, potential remains untapped, and negative feelings begin to fester. The comfort zone is a concept we all intuitively understand, even if we've never taken the time to define it. It's that space in life where everything feels familiar, manageable, and safe. It's where we operate without much thought or risk, where routines take over and the fear of failure is kept at bay. In the comfort zone, life feels predictable, and because of that, we often cling to it. But there's a hidden cost to this safety. It comes at the expense of growth. When we stay too long in our comfort zone, it becomes a trap. What initially feels like security begins to morph into stagnation. Imagine a plant kept in the same small pot for years. Its roots can only grow so far, and as a result, its potential to flourish is stifled. The same principle applies to us. Staying in our comfort zone keeps us from stretching, learning, and reaching for the extraordinary. The comfort zone isn't inherently bad. It's a natural and necessary part of life, providing us with stability and a place to recharge. However, problems arise when it becomes our permanent address rather than a temporary rest stop. Growth doesn't happen here. The skills you wish to develop, the dreams you long to achieve, and the person you're destined to become all exist outside its boundaries. Why do we cling so tightly to the comfort zone? The answer often lies in fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of success. These fears whisper to us that stepping out isn't worth the risk. They convince us to stay put because the unknown feels threatening. But let's reframe this for a moment. What if the unknown isn't something to fear, but something to embrace? What if it's the gateway to everything you've ever wanted? Breaking free from the comfort zone doesn't mean diving headfirst into chaos. It starts with recognizing its limitations. The comfort zone creates a false sense of security, but the world outside it isn't as hostile as we imagine. In fact, it's full of opportunities waiting for you to seize them. The unease you feel when stepping out isn't a sign to retreat, it's a signal that you're on the brink of growth. Stepping out doesn't have to be monumental. Small, deliberate actions can make all the difference. For example, let's say you want to improve your public speaking skills, but the thought terrifies you. Start by speaking up in a small meeting or practicing in front of a friend. Each step outside the comfort zone builds momentum, and before you know it, what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. It's important to understand that the comfort zone also has a sneaky way of disguising itself. Sometimes it doesn't look like stagnation, it looks like being busy. You might convince yourself that sticking to what you know is productive. You tell yourself you're working hard, but deep down you know you're avoiding the risks that lead to true progress. To escape the comfort zone, you must cultivate awareness. Pay attention to where you feel resistance or where fear holds you back. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding and why? These questions are not easy to face, but they are necessary. They shine a light on the boundaries you've unknowingly set for yourself. Ultimately, leaving the comfort zone is not about erasing fear, but learning to live with it. Fear doesn't disappear, it evolves. When you take that first step into the unknown, you show yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. That's where growth happens. The more you challenge the limits of your comfort zone, the more expansive your world becomes. So what's holding you back? What are you willing to leave behind to step into the person you're meant to be? Remember, the comfort zone is just that, a zone. It's not your home, and it's not your destiny. Your potential lies beyond its borders, and the first step toward reaching it begins with a choice. Will you stay where it's comfortable, or will you take the leap? Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It's raw, primal, and deeply ingrained in our biology, designed to protect us from danger. But in the modern world, fear often manifests not as a response to physical threats, but as a reaction to uncertainty, change, and the possibility of failure. While it may feel uncomfortable, fear is not your end, it's not your enemy. In fact, fear is often your greatest teacher and the compass pointing you toward growth. Think for a moment about the things that scare you most. Public speaking, starting a new business, asking for what you want, or simply being vulnerable with others. What do these fears have in common? They all exist at the edge of your comfort zone, in the space where transformation happens. Fear signals that you are stepping into the unknown, And that's where you have the opportunity to learn, adapt, and become more than you were yesterday. Many of us have been conditioned to avoid fear at all costs. Society often equates fear with weakness, telling us that if we're scared, we should retreat. But let me ask you this, when was the last time you felt proud of yourself for playing it safe? The moments that define us, the moments we look back on with pride, are almost always the ones where we faced our fears head on. Facing fear doesn't mean eliminating it. That's a myth. Fear will always be there whenever you're stepping into something new or challenging. The goal is not to be fearless, but to develop courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. Every time you choose to act in the face of fear, you weaken its hold over you. Fear also has an interesting relationship with our imagination. The things we fear most are often exaggerated versions of reality. Our minds create scenarios that feel catastrophic, but when we finally confront those fears, we realize they were nowhere near as bad as we thought. For example, think about a time when you dreaded a difficult conversation. You may have imagined the worst possible outcome, yet when you finally had the conversation, it went much smoother than you expected. Fear feeds on avoidance, but action starves it. What happens when you face your fears? First, you grow stronger. Every step you take outside your comfort zone builds confidence and resilience. Facing fear shows you that you're capable of more than you believed. Second, you expand your perception of what's possible. What once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable, even routine, after you confront it. Consider this fear is not just an obstacle, it's a guide. It highlights the areas of your life where you have the most room to grow. If you're afraid of public speaking, it's likely because you see value in developing that skill. If you're scared to take a risk in your career, it's because you know the potential reward could change your life. Fear often points directly to the things that matter most to us. One of the most transformative shifts you can make is to stop seeing fear as a warning to stop and start viewing it as an invitation to grow. When you feel fear, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I try? And what's the best that could happen if I succeed? More often than not, the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. But here's the key: you don't have to face fear all at once. Break it down into manageable steps. If starting a business scares you, begin by writing down your ideas or talking to someone who's already done it. If you're nervous about meeting new people, start with small interactions, a smile, a hello, a short conversation. Facing fear isn't about giant leaps, it's about consistent, deliberate actions that chip away at the walls fear has built. In the end, fear isn't a barrier, it's a bridge. It leads you to new experiences, deeper relationships, and greater success. It challenges you to become the person you're capable of being. So the next time you feel fear, don't shrink away. Lean into it. Use it as fuel to propel you forward, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. Fear is powerful, yes, but so are you. Negative feelings are an inevitable part of life. We all experience frustration, disappointment, anxiety, and sadness at some point. These emotions are often labeled as bad, but what if they're not the enemy we think they are? What if they're simply messengers trying to tell us something important? Reframing negative feelings begins with understanding that they are not obstacles but opportunities to learn and grow. Many people view negative emotions as a sign of weakness or failure. When something doesn't go as planned, it's easy to spiral into self-criticism or despair. But let's consider another perspective. Negative feelings are a natural response to challenges and unmet expectations. They're signals from your mind and body that something requires your attention. Rather than suppressing them, we can learn to listen and respond with curiosity. Take frustration, for example. You might feel frustrated when you're working hard on something and it's not turning out the way you hoped. Instead of seeing frustration as a dead end, what if you saw it as a sign that you're trying to solve a problem that matters to you? Frustration can motivate you to adjust your approach, seek new solutions, or develop patience. It's not a sign of failure, it's a signal that you're invested in achieving a better outcome. Anxiety is another common negative emotion that often gets a bad reputation. While chronic anxiety can be debilitating, the everyday anxiety we feel before a big event or decision is a natural response to stepping into the unknown. It's a sign that you care deeply about what you're about to do. By reframing anxiety as a form of energy, you can channel it into preparation and focus. Instead of saying, I'm anxious, try saying, I'm excited to rise to this challenge. This small shift in language can change your relationship with the emotion. Sadness, too, is often misunderstood. While it can feel overwhelming, sadness is a signal that you've lost something meaningful or that you long for something you don't yet have. It's a reminder of what you value most. Instead of avoiding sadness, you can use it as a guide to reflect on your priorities and what brings you fulfillment. It can inspire you to take actions that align with your deepest desires. Reframing negative feelings doesn't mean denying or invalidating them. On the contrary, it means fully acknowledging them and then choosing how to interpret them. One powerful way to reframe emotions is to ask questions. When you feel a negative emotion, pause and ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What can I learn from it? How can I use it to grow? These questions shift your focus from resisting the emotion to understanding it. Another effective technique is practicing self-compassion. Often when we feel negative emotions, we pile on additional layers of guilt or shame for having those feelings in the first place. Why am I so upset? I should be stronger than this. This self-criticism only amplifies the negativity. Instead, try speaking to yourself as you would to a close friend. Acknowledge your feelings and remind yourself that it's okay to have them. You're human, and being human means experiencing the full range of emotions. Gratitude can also play a powerful role in reframing negative feelings. It might sound counterintuitive, but even in difficult moments, there's often something to be grateful for. Gratitude doesn't erase negative emotions, but it can provide balance and perspective. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a tough situation, you might find gratitude in the lessons it's teaching you or in the support of the people around you. Over time, reframing negative feelings becomes a habit. Instead of dreading them, you start to see them as part of the journey. You realize that growth rarely happens without discomfort, and that includes emotional discomfort. Negative feelings aren't there to stop you, they're there to shape you. So the next time you find yourself caught in the grip of a negative emotion, take a moment to pause. Breathe. Reflect. Ask yourself what this feeling is here to teach you. Then decide how you want to move forward. By reframing negative feelings, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your emotions and start using them as tools for growth. Every challenge, every setback, and every difficult feeling can become a stepping stone to a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. Vision and purpose are the twin pillars that guide us out of our comfort zones and through life's challenges. They are the forces that provide clarity and direction, especially when the road ahead seems uncertain. Without them, we wander aimlessly, reacting to circumstances rather than shaping our destinies. When we align ourselves with a clear vision and a strong sense of purpose, we gain the power to transcend fear, overcome obstacles, and turn negative feelings into fuel for growth. A vision is more than a simple goal. It's a vivid picture of the life you want to create, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to have. It acts as a North Star, providing direction and focus. When you're clear about your vision, decisions become easier because you can evaluate every opportunity and challenge against that larger picture. Does this action bring me closer to my vision, or does it lead me away? This clarity simplifies your path and gives your efforts meaning. Purpose, on the other hand, is the deeper why behind your actions. It's the reason you get up in the morning, the driving force that sustains you even when the journey gets tough. Purpose isn't always tied to grand, world-changing ideas. It can be found in smaller personal commitments. Whether it's creating a better future for your family, helping others, or fulfilling your potential, purpose connects you to something bigger than yourself. Together, vision and purpose create a powerful combination. Vision shows you where you're going, and purpose keeps you moving forward. They act as anchors when you face fear or negative feelings. When you're clear about your vision and purpose, you can see beyond temporary discomfort and focus on the bigger picture. This perspective is crucial because stepping out of your comfort zone often feels unsettling. Fear and doubt are natural companions on this journey, but they lose their power when you're driven by a compelling vision and a strong purpose. Imagine for a moment that you're climbing a steep mountain. The climb is exhausting, and every part of you wants to stop and turn back. But as you look up, you catch a glimpse of the breathtaking view waiting at the summit. That vision of what's possible energizes you. It reminds you why you started the climb in the first place. Now imagine that in addition to the view, you're climbing not just for yourself, but to inspire others who will follow in your footsteps. That sense of purpose adds even more meaning to the effort, making every step worthwhile. When your vision and purpose are strong, they also help you reframe setbacks. Instead of seeing challenges as failures, you begin to view them as lessons. Negative feelings like frustration, doubt, or disappointment no longer feel like reasons to quit. They become part of the process. You understand that every obstacle is shaping you, preparing you for the success you envision. To cultivate a powerful vision, start by asking yourself some key questions. What do I want my life to look like? Who do I want to become? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Allow yourself to dream boldly without worrying about the how just yet. Vision requires imagination, and it's okay if it feels a little intimidating. In fact, it should, because a vision that doesn't stretch you won't inspire you. Purpose, on the other hand, often emerges from introspection. Ask yourself what matters most to me. What brings me joy, fulfillment, and a sense of contribution? Sometimes purpose is born from your struggles. The challenges you've overcome can become the source of your greatest impact. Once you have clarity on your vision and purpose, use them as tools to navigate the inevitable challenges. Write them down. Keep them visible. Remind yourself of them daily. When fear creeps in or negative feelings threaten to derail you, reconnect with your vision and purpose. Let them remind you that the discomfort is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. In the end, vision and purpose are not just abstract ideas, they are practical tools for transformation. They give you the courage to step into the unknown, the resilience to face difficulties, and the motivation to keep going when things get tough. They transform fear into excitement, doubt into determination, and setbacks into stepping stones. With a clear vision and a strong purpose, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Taking action is where the real transformation begins. It's one thing to understand the need to leave your comfort zone and overcome negative feelings, but it's another to translate that understanding into tangible steps. Action bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Yet many people find themselves stuck, overwhelmed by the size of their goals, or paralyzed by fear of failure. This is where practical strategies come into play. Simple, effective techniques that help you move forward one step at a time. The first strategy is to start small. Big changes can feel intimidating, but breaking them into smaller, manageable steps makes them achievable. Think of it like climbing a staircase. You don't leap to the top. In one bound, you take it one step at a time. For example, if your goal is to improve your fitness, you don't have to sign up for a marathon right away. Start by walking for 10 minutes a day or doing a short workout at home. Small wins build momentum, and each step forward gives you confidence to tackle the next. Another key strategy is to embrace the power of routines. Routines create consistency, and consistency is crucial when stepping out of your comfort zone. Choose a specific time each day to work on your goal, whether it's learning a new skill, journaling, or networking. When your actions become a regular part of your schedule, they feel less daunting and more like a natural part of your day. Accountability is another game changer. It's easy to abandon your goals when no one knows about them, but sharing your intentions with others creates a sense of responsibility. Find an accountability partner, someone who supports your growth and will hold you to your commitments. Whether it's a friend, mentor, coach, having someone to check in with can make all the difference. Additionally, consider joining a group or community of like-minded individuals. Surrounding yourself with people who share your goals or values provides encouragement and inspiration. One of the most powerful tools for action is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, goals, and progress helps you stay focused and track your journey. Start each day by outlining your priorities or reflecting on your fears. At the end of the day, review what you accomplished and what you can improve. Journaling not only clarifies your path, but also helps you process negative feelings and turn them into insights. Visualization is another effective strategy. Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goal. Picture every detail, how you'll feel, what you'll see, and the impact it will have on your life. Visualization helps you connect emotionally with your desired outcome, making it feel more real and attainable. When challenges arise, revisiting this mental image can reignite your motivation. Progress doesn't always come in a straight line, so it's important to anticipate setbacks and plan how you'll respond to them. When things don't go as planned, resist the urge to give up. Instead, treat setbacks as learning opportunities. Ask yourself what went wrong. What can I do differently next time? This mindset turns failures into valuable lessons and keeps you moving forward. Celebrating your progress is equally important. Acknowledge and reward yourself for every step you take, no matter how small. These celebrations reinforce positive behavior and remind you that growth is happening, even if it's not always obvious. Whether it's treating yourself to something special or simply pausing to reflect on your achievements, take the time to appreciate your efforts. Finally, practice patience and self-compassion. Stepping out of your comfort zone and overcoming negative feelings is a process, not an overnight transformation. Be kind to yourself when progress feels slow or when fear resurfaces. Remember that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goals. By applying these practical strategies, you can turn ideas into action and fear into fuel. It's not about taking giant leaps, it's about consistent, deliberate effort. Over time, these small actions compound, leading to significant growth and transformation. When you look back, you'll realize that every step, no matter how small, was a crucial part of your journey. Taking action is where the transformation truly begins. Understanding the importance of leaving your comfort zone and overcoming negative feelings is essential, but it's through action that these insights become meaningful changes. Practical strategies not only simplify the process, but also make the daunting task of stepping into the unknown more manageable and sustainable. They help you move forward, even when fear and doubt try to hold you back. The first and most critical step is to start small. Often the sheer size of our goals or the challenges ahead can feel overwhelming, paralyzing us into inaction. However, small, incremental actions can break this cycle. Think of these steps as building blocks. Each one lays the foundation for the next. For instance, if you're aiming to transition into a new career, you don't have to quit your current job immediately. Start by researching industries that interest you, updating your resume, or reaching out to someone in your desired field for advice. These small actions create momentum, making the larger goal feel attainable rather than insurmountable. Another effective strategy is to develop daily routines that align with your goals. Routines provide structure and consistency, which are essential when forming new habits or stepping out of your comfort zone. Consistency reduces decision fatigue, as it eliminates the need to constantly negotiate with yourself about whether or not to take action. For example, if you're working toward better health, set aside a specific time each day for exercise or meal planning. Over time, these activities will become second nature, making it easier to maintain progress. Accountability plays a significant role in maintaining motivation and staying on track. Sharing your goals with someone you trust, a friend, mentor, or coach, creates a sense of responsibility. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitments can encourage you to follow through, even on days when motivation wanes. Beyond one-on-one accountability, joining a group or community with similar aspirations can provide an additional layer of support. Being surrounded by people who share your values and goals fosters a sense of belonging and inspires you to keep going, especially during challenging moments. Journaling is a powerful tool for action and reflection. Writing down your goals, thoughts, and progress helps clarify your intentions and keeps you focused. Begin each day by setting priorities, listing the specific actions you want to take, and acknowledging any fears or doubts you're experiencing. At the end of the day, review your accomplishments and reflect on what you've learned. This practice not only tracks your progress, but also transforms negative feelings into insights, showing you how far you've come and what adjustments may be needed. Visualization can also play a key role in bridging the gap between intention and action. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goal. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, and feel? Visualization helps you connect emotionally with your desired outcome, reinforcing your commitment to the journey. When challenges arise, revisiting this mental image can reignite your determination, reminding you why you started in the first place. Setbacks are inevitable, so it's essential to approach them with resilience and adaptability. Instead of viewing challenges as failures, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. When something doesn't go as planned, pause to evaluate the situation. What worked? What didn't? What can you do differently next time? This reflective approach transforms obstacles into stepping stones, keeping you moving forward rather than getting stuck in frustration or self-doubt. Celebrating your progress is equally important. Recognize and reward yourself for every milestone, no matter how small. These celebrations create positive reinforcement, motivating you to keep going. Whether it's treating yourself to something special, sharing your achievement with a loved one, or simply taking a moment to reflect on your success, acknowledging your efforts boosts confidence and reminds you of the progress you've made. Finally, cultivate patience and self-compassion. Change is a process, not an event. It's normal to encounter setbacks or feel like progress is slow. Be gentle with yourself during these times, recognizing that growth often comes in waves rather than a straight line. Celebrate effort as much as results, and remind yourself that every step, no matter how small, is a step forward. By embracing these practical strategies, you turn intention into action and transform fear into fuel for progress. Each small step, each moment of consistency, and each act of courage compounds over time, leading to meaningful and lasting change. You'll find that the journey itself becomes as rewarding as the destination, proving that action truly is the key to unlocking your potential. Building a growth mindset is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your journey to step out of your comfort zone and overcome negative feelings. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and skills can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. This perspective contrasts with a fixed mindset, which assumes that your abilities and potential are predetermined and unchangeable. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you begin to see challenges, failures, and setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than as evidence of your limitations. The foundation of a growth mindset lies in how you perceive challenges. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges because they fear failure or believe that struggling indicates a lack of ability. In contrast, a growth mindset embraces challenges as a necessary part of growth. When faced with a difficult task, ask yourself, what can I learn from this, or how can this experience help me improve? Shifting your focus from the outcome to the process allows you to approach challenges with curiosity and determination. Another critical aspect of building a growth mindset is rethinking failure. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, but in reality it's one of the most valuable learning tools available. Every failure provides insight into what didn't work and why. When you approach failure with a growth mindset, you start to view it not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. Instead of asking, why did I fail? Ask, what can I do differently next time? This shift in perspective transforms failure from a source of shame into an essential part of progress. Effort is another key component of a growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, effort is often viewed as unnecessary. If you're truly talented, things should come easily. But in a growth mindset, effort is celebrated as the path to mastery. Recognizing that hard work and persistence lead to improvement can help you stay motivated, even when progress feels slow. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that effort is the price of growth and that every step forward, no matter how small, is meaningful. Feedback is a powerful tool for growth, but how you receive and interpret it depends on your mindset. In a fixed mindset, feedback can feel like criticism, a threat to your self-esteem. However, with a growth mindset, feedback becomes an opportunity to learn and refine your approach. Instead of focusing on the emotional discomfort feedback might bring, focus on the valuable information it offers. Ask yourself, how can I use this feedback to improve, and thank those who provide it, even if it's hard to hear. Cultivating a growth mindset also involves reframing your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on your beliefs and actions. Negative self-talk, like I'm not good at this, or I'll never get it right, reinforces a fixed mindset. Replace these thoughts with growth-oriented statements such as I'm still learning, or I haven't mastered this yet, but adding the word yet to your thoughts and statements reminds you that growth is always possible. Surrounding yourself with a supportive environment is another vital factor in fostering a growth mindset. Spend time with people who encourage learning, resilience, and self-improvement. Engage in conversations that challenge your perspectives and expose you to new ideas. Seek mentors or role models who embody a growth mindset and observe how they navigate challenges and setbacks. A positive environment can reinforce your commitment to growth and inspire you to push beyond your limits. Lastly, practice gratitude and celebrate progress. Acknowledge the effort and courage it takes to step out of your comfort zone and face challenges. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you've achieved, helping you stay motivated. Celebrate not just big milestones, but also the small wins along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you're growing and evolving. By building a growth mindset, you unlock your potential to face challenges, overcome setbacks, and transform negative feelings into opportunities for growth. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. With each step, you strengthen your ability to adapt, learn, and thrive, proving to yourself that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. A growth mindset empowers you to see the journey as just as rewarding as the destination, opening the door to a life of continuous learning and limitless possibilities.